All right. Last night, I sat with little me, this is from Victoria, and comforted her through her tears. See, this is so great. So many of us have just been disconnected. We never knew by seeking all this on the outside. It never got us anywhere. But now we come home and there's some like homecoming tears, excuse me, for a while until everything gets calm and connected in there. And then on the outside, we no longer seek and need, and we're able to receive incredibly glorious partners. I had lived my week with my heart wide open and I got hurt. You see, it was administrative professional week. It used to be called Secretary's Day, and I'm a legal secretary. 2 of my 5 attorneys are relatively new to my desk, and neither of them acknowledged me in any way during the week of, administrative professional acknowledgement week. By the end of Friday, I sent each of them an email asking to discuss how things were going. I know I gave away my power and that I'm a good legal secretary, but the slight was hurtful nonetheless. I feel brave to have put the question out there to them, and the discussions will happen next week. So my question is, how do I deal with the feelings of disappointment when people don't come through for me? Both in work relationships and in love relationships too. Victoria. We hold little Victoria. That's where we start. We acknowledge that, oh my God, it's administrative professional week, and 5 people's jobs to acknowledge you didn't acknowledge you, right? 2 of the 5 didn't acknowledge you, or did, I can't remember, but not all of them anyways. And that little Victoria has every right to feel abandoned, rejected, disappointed, even a little frustrated, sad. She has every right to feel this way. And when you feel in your body, in your heart, in your belly, in your throat, someplace that it's happening, it's an indicator. That's little you going, help, help, help. And instead of shoving it down and pushing it away and putting on a happy face or having a drink or buying a new purse or doing whatever we do to cope, sprinkles, we go, and we take time away from whatever inside to get to know her and validate her and acknowledge her and tell her she has every right to feel that way. Stupid, busy lawyers who can't even take the time to be grateful, motherfuckers, whatever you need to say, okay? Acknowledge, 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 acknowledge. And she, because you're going to be there for her, she's actually getting acknowledged. You're listening to her, so she's actually getting everything she's seeking on the outside you're giving to her. And then you're letting her know she has every right to feel this way. So she's feeling so seen, so heard, so gotten, so everything she was seeking from the 5 lawyers you're giving her. And then she starts to calm down. And of course, the 2 of you, after talking about this for like 10 minutes, you could do this journaling with her. You could do this talking in your mind's eye, hugging yourself. You could do this walking in nature. You could do this in a bathtub, as I do with a shot of tequila and a bag of chips sometimes, not all the time, but on a really bad day, that's where you'll find me. And it's little Allana crying, and I keep acknowledging. At some point, there's calmness. Calmness. The seeking has been given what she needs so much that she's calm. She's calm. And when that calmness occurs, it's almost like she falls asleep in your arms, and you can visualize in your mind's eye that you're in this beautiful chaise lounge or throne or cradle, and there's blankets and pillows, and she's safe, and she falls asleep in your arms, and you're just rocking her, and she knows that she's enough. She knows that she's enough. And you can visualize the love you have for her, the exquisite pride you have that she has so much courage to show up day in, day out, over and over and over again in the face of lawyers who don't even say she's awesome, stupid, blah. That you're so proud of her, that you can imagine with your mind's eye the love from your heart just cocooning her in your arms. You can imagine that and we'll get to these transformational processes later in the course, they're kind of the higher level ones, but literally breathing in the love of the universe, exhaling it around her. So you are soothed on the inside of your body, and your exhale and the energy out your heart just cocoons her in your arms. And literally with your mind's eye, see this beautiful, vulnerable, courageous you who just keeps showing up on this crazy planet. And you love her and you're proud of her, and something inside of you rests. so that when you have your professional day, you, as you accurately assessed, gave your power away, seeking approval a little bit, right? You don't need that. It's professional week. Great. Somebody acknowledges you. Awesome. Somebody doesn't. Awesome. You're so full on the inside to overflow that you don't need extra. If they want to give you extra, that's awesome. But you don't need it to be good enough because you've showered yourself with so much nonstop acknowledgement that you're okay. And what's really curious, when we're not full on the inside and we seek on the outside, remember that energy is like, am I enough? Am I enough? We push things away. But when we're so full on the inside and we truly give people choice, we give people choice. Have you ever been around somebody that's like, am I good enough? I mean, they might not actually say it in those words, but they're like, did you notice? Or the people that go, I love you. Because they're asking for it back, right? Okay, like that. You don't want to say I love you back. When someone's like, do I look good in this dress? You kind of don't want to tell them yes because it's so needy. Like this actually literally pushes away the very acknowledgement you're looking for. But when you actually are full on the inside and you are like flirting with yourself in the mirror and you're acknowledging yourself and you have little sticky notes like I do all over my house, like telling me like good job all the time. Like I put on my makeup and right above it is this thing that I acknowledge myself because I'm no different than you. My little Allana is like bonkers sometimes. And I do that when I go into a situation. I don't need anything. So literally there's no energy pushing people away and they feel this safety. There's so much spaciousness around me for them to come in and give me acknowledgement. It's possible. I'm not saying it's true, but it's possible that these lawyers felt your neediness and were just like, ugh, I can't deal with this. Maybe not. Maybe they're just unconscious, busy, unkind people. It's very possible. Okay. But regardless, the best way for you to create a situation to get more acknowledgement is to be full in yourself. And then if they do, great. If they don't, great. I find more people acknowledge me, the less I need it. More people want to work with me, the less I need it. More people are kind to me, the less I need it. And even though I'm quote unquote getting along better with my ex, it's really just a navigating and what does Douglas call it? A narc, okay, whatever, like a behavioral way of being. The more I don't need him to be nice to me, the more I don't care if he takes me back to court again, the more whatever, I'm okay with his lack of this or blah, 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 the nicer he is, the easier he is to get along with, because I don't resist any part of him anymore. I don't need anything anymore. You want to go back to court again? Be my guest. But before, oh my God, don't take me to court. Oh my God, he had all the power. Okay. So I think life will be different at work when you don't need their approval. And you can actually, from fullness with yourself, have awareness, discernment, total queen, like you're so wise when you're full on the inside, seeking nothing on the outside. You're actually able to go, wait a minute, they're overwhelmed, so much pressure to meet the money every single month to make partner. They're so friggin' stressed out that they're not present. They're not coming from fullness. They're coming from emptiness. No wonder they forgot to acknowledge me. I get it. Doesn't make it any nicer, but I can have awareness and not take it personally. This is also something that happens when you come from fullness. Great sense of awareness. In fact, there's a little story. This one person they asked for a private session, a complimentary session to talk about working together. We booked it, and then it's supposed to happen tomorrow, but they emailed today and said, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. Hey, maybe later this week or maybe next week, have a good day. Looking forward to it. From fullness, my awareness is, they're not valuing my time. Their mechanism is to get overwhelmed as soon as they're ready to sit and handle something. Their survival mechanism is to kind of put on a good attitude and postpone things and be overwhelmed so they don't have to spiral down and actually feel something that they don't want to feel. So they're operating kind of sprinkles. I can read all of this into that short little email because of how centered I am and how much I practice this. So I took a beat and I asked the energy, truth. What is the energy of just letting her reschedule? Heavy contractive. Why? Because I'm buying into her survival mechanism and she's in charge, not me. I'm the coach. I'm here to support her. I'm here to be the contribution to her. Whether or not she signs up or not, I choose to be truth. Loving truth, fierce love, but truth. So I took a beat and I asked the energy, truth. What's the energy of me actually calling her on her pattern and letting the chips fall where they will and doing it with love? light. So I emailed her back and I said, is it possible? I said, thank you for getting back to me in more than 24 hours in advance. I'm really grateful for that. However, can I just be straight? Is it possible? I could be wrong. I might be making a mistake here. So totally taking ownership. But what I'm noticing is perhaps a pattern of overwhelm, coping, postponing, trying to do things perfectly, about to talk about something intense and kind of wanting to postpone it or this kind of thing. You know, I could be wrong. But if that's actually what's going on, it would be a disservice to you to allow you to postpone later. And I only talk with people who are ready to move forward now, not people that maybe want to talk next week or the week after. So maybe we're not a fit for now, and that's totally okay. But just let me know if I'm accurate or not in this assessment. And thank you for receiving this email with graciousness, because it's pretty straight. And she emailed back instantly. She's like, holy shit, you just called me on it. Oh my God. Yes, I will keep my appointment tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. So this kind of awareness you can start to have, and you don't use it as a weapon against people. You don't use it to be superior and in control. You just use it with a heart open. You take ownership, like maybe I'm wrong, or ask permission, can I be straight? But you're going to know what's going on. You're not going to be taking things personally anymore. And you'll be able to have these kind of intense conversations that actually bring people closer, who are conscious and really willing to be in relationship with you or do the work with you. And then people that aren't conscious, when you totally see them, they're going to go, fuck you. And they're going to leave your life. And you're going to be like, oh, they weren't actually a contribution for my life anyways. Ha ha ha, thank you. This is what happens when you become this powerful and this knowing and this kind. Okay, so Victoria, that is what I would say. How do you deal with the feelings of disappointment when people don't come through? People are not going to come through for you for the rest of your life. Welcome to life. It happens all the time for me. You got to soothe little Victoria to a place of fullness where she can have forgiveness of others, awareness of who actually to trust. It's not like we want to be vulnerable with everybody, because when you have awareness and you're full on the inside, you're going to be like, that person, if I was vulnerable with them, they are going to hurt me. I can tell. They have no consciousness. They have no kindness. They have no courage. I'm not going to be open with them. I'm going to honor myself by not being vulnerable with them because I know they're going to hurt me. And then you can assess, this one feels safe. This one has a resonant, same oscillation, same vibration as me. I'm going to be vulnerable with them. Don't just be vulnerable with everybody, because people will definitely take advantage of that. Be discerning from fullness of who you're going to open to. You know who to call at 3 a.m. if you needed somebody. And you know who not to call, right? You know that. That's the discernment of vulnerability, okay? So we don't just want to be like a sitting duck out there open. We do want to use our openness to know what we know and our fullness from within. But truly the communication of vulnerability, we want to be at choice. We want to be at choice of who we're going to do that with. Who do we feel the same safety that little you has on the inside from doing all these practices? Who do we feel that safe with on the outside? And those are the ones we choose to be vulnerable with.